First story is Rob Reiner, Hollywood actor, director Rob Reiner, found alongside his wife in his home. He was 78, she was 68. The son is under arrest. Him and his wife suffered stab wounds. It's very clear that they were attacked. This was a homicide. Rob Reiner was such a politically involved individual. My condolences to the family.
It's going to take a long time to rebuild the shining city on the hill, the beacon to the rest of the world. You go to outside of our country, and I've been out in the UK and other places. They don't know what the hell's happening in America. They don't understand what's happening. This used to be the place that welcomed immigrants, that welcomed people, and it was our strength. The diversity was our strength.
See, so obviously Rob Reiner and I have very different politics. His politics was bring everybody in and keep the Negroes on the bottom. Now, he didn't say that, but that's what happens. In fact, anybody who says, hey, bring everybody in, and knows how, and who's aware at all, who's not an idiot, knows black people have been on the bottom in America. So when you say bring everybody in, you mean trample the people on the bottom. Because that's what happens. It's very simple. So when we having these conversations, as we proceed, just know I'm not a fan of Rob Reiner. For that reason at all. That reason by itself is enough. I never met him. He didn't give me money. We didn't hang out. It doesn't take a lot for me to say, hey, nobody should get stabbed in their house. Nobody should get stabbed at all unless they're trying to stab somebody else. Unless it's an active shooter situation. I would never, unless you're trying to save your own life, there's no, I could never support someone being stabbed to death, them and their wife in their home. But be very clear. Be very clear. And I want to, and this is important, right? That goes for anybody. That goes for people like Ajamu Baraka. That goes to people like Van Lathan. That goes to people like Tiffany Cross. All of these people with this, open the door and let everybody in. Knowing black people are on the bottom in our system. And when you let everybody in, they step on the people that are on the bottom. We are the floor. And if you want to say, where's Shining Star, Shining Mountaintop House, or whatever that is, whatever analogy that shit is, from whatever, I don't know, whatever old white guy who did pictures, Norman Rockwell bullshit, whatever Norman Rockwell bullshit you want, realize those are people. The floor is alive, asshole. We're the floor. So that's who I'm advocating for. I'm advocating for the people on the floor, who you don't give a shit about because you want your grapes picked. You want your salad prices low. You want to be able to hire somebody to come do some landscaping work for $15. Let's keep going. But that having that stance is considered xenophobic. It's not racist. It's not anti-black to be on that shit he's on. But for me to support my people that's on the bottom, that's called xenophobic. Divisive.
And now it's looked upon as people are being thrown out of the country without due process. It's nightmarish what's happening in America. And hopefully people will be able to see that.
Notice that what's been going on in America was not considered nightmarish. It wasn't nightmarish that black people in California, for instance, the homeless rate is 4 times the national average. That's not nightmarish. But it's nightmarish that somebody who came here last week, who did not come through the documented process, has to leave. Oh no! Nightmare! Can't be in the country you weren't born in without going through a process. Nightmare! Black women dying and 3 times black women dying giving childbirth and 3 times the rate of white women, not a nightmare. Fine. Niggas filling up jails in places where there are no niggas. Fine. But don't let Venezuelan Judy or Don Julio now be able to come here and get a $1,500 voucher and a star credit rating, no record, even if they've been in crime in the country they're in, come in with an A1 credit rating and get a house in 6 months. That, my friend, is called a tragedy. See, fam, I'm a problem. I'm a problem, fam. I'm a problem. Because what I'm saying is just true. Let's keep going.
Unfortunately, voters, they only feel when it hits them personally in the pocketbook. But when they feel that, which they're going to start to feel, and they also feel their rights being taken away, it may start to change things. But hopefully, it's not too late. It's as bad as anything could be in this country at this point.
I'm Rob Reiner, and America, we've got a problem. We've been attacked by a foreign enemy power, and our president refuses to defend us. Donald Trump is meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin one-on-one in a closed-door meeting with no aides present and no record of what will be said. Putin's government attacked our democracy by interfering in the 2016 election to help Donald Trump become president. That is not in dispute. It has been verified by all U.S. intelligence agencies, the Republican-led Senate Intelligence Committee.
And it's all been debunked and walked back, and he never apologized. Yeah, this has been the big lie they told us. Because there's no way Hillary can lose because people just didn't want Hillary. Nah, it had to be Russians. Yeah, if you don't like Hillary or Kamala or even Jasmine Crockett, it's because Russian misinformation. It's never the party or what they ran on or what they didn't run on. It can only be outside tampering. Because they're all so amazing.
And the U.S. Justice Department. Trump and his campaign's conspiracy with Russia is the subject of a federal investigation. And yet Donald Trump refuses to meet with Robert Mueller, the prosecutor leading that investigation. Trump said he'd meet with anyone. He told us.
I'll speak to anybody.
But now he's backing out. If he has nothing to hide, why won't he sit down and answer Mueller's questions? What's he afraid of? In light of his meeting with Putin, it's more imperative than ever that we get that truth. Join me in demanding that Trump meet with Mueller and answer his questions.
Rob Reiner was Robert De Niro on steroids. That's what he was. He was way worse than Robert De Niro. He was the most vocal. In fact, Robert De Niro is a knockoff of Rob Reiner when it comes to being annoying and hell of a Democratic, like, cheerleading, leading the pack type of guy in Hollywood about how Trump was Hitler and ruining the country. And so, yeah, that's what he did. And look, guys, I didn't much give a shit about it. I thought he was just a bunch of hot air, repeating a bunch of talking points that have been debunked several times. But I'm kind of trying to paint the picture of how political he was and how he was an attack dog. Because that's what he was. Politically. Has nothing to do with what kind of dad he was, or husband, or director. In fact, I liked most of his movies that I saw. The ones I saw, I liked. I like the one with Jack Nicholson. It's a good movie. What was that? Well, let's start with the ones I can name. Stand By Me was a great movie. I love Stand By Me. Who didn't love that? I was a kid that came out and I was like, damn, I don't want to get old. This is a great movie. The one with Jack Nicholson, A Few Good Men, that's the name of it I was looking for. Great movie. And other ones. There's at least one more that I saw that he did. That was a great movie. But we're not talking about that. Oh, we're talking about the politics, which is not all of who he was. But that part of him, the politics part of him, phew, that shit stinks. Sorry, not a Democratic sympathizer nor a Republican sympathizer. Just calling balls and strikes. Just calling it as I see it.
At the same time that he was making brilliant film work, he was also deeply engaged. There wasn't a cause he didn't care about. He cared about immigrants. He cared about equality and justice. He spoke up in defense of democracy at a time when so many in the media industry, so many with a platform are afraid to speak. He put his money and his mouth where his heart was. And for Trump to have put that out today, I'm going to say it. You know, damn it, there's an American family grieving.
Yeah.
This is a tragedy, not just for the...
There's an American family grieving. See, this is what's bad about media, Johnson, is that she comes back to bite you in the ass. Here goes Trump's post. He said, a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling, but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife. Reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness. And with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace. Oh, he ended it nice. He had a classy ending. What did he say that was so bad? He disagreed with him 100% politically. Hey, fam, I haven't read his tweet or his post on social. This is the first time me reading it. Hey, it's the first time me reading it, and I thought it was going to be way worse than that. The way that Anna's talking, I thought he was like, I don't know, I thought he had like a, damn it, Johnson, I thought he had a Samuel L. Jackson moment. You know, from a time to die, a time to kill. I thought he had a time to kill moment, like, I'm glad he's dead, and I hope he burned in hell. You mean all he said was, I hated the guy's politics, he had it out for me, he was a paranoid, crazy person, but may he rest in peace? Fam, that's better than a lot of Democrats said about Charlie Kirk. I mean, much better. There was literal people dancing about Charlie Kirk. And look, I was not a Charlie Kirk fan. In fact, I was kind of more bothered by Charlie Kirk, frankly, because he talked directly negative about black Americans, using bullshit talking points that he got from Candace Owens in his organization, Turning Point USA. Actually, they were the same. Yeah. The point is, they are gaslighting the shit out of this thing about Trump, Johnson. What he said is kind of run-of-the-mill Trump. I mean, he just was not polite. That's it. He didn't drop an F-bomb like Jasmine Crockett would have done. He just said, hey, basically, I didn't like the guy. The guy was deranged. He shitted on me. He hunted me down. He said a bunch of negative things. And I'm the best. I'm the greatest. And let me, you know. And then he proceeded to say, may he rest in peace. Wasn't that bad, Johnson? They protest too much, fam. Yeah, the protests are overblown. They gaslighting.
The family, but for all who knew and loved him. And for the President of the United States to make this about him.
It seems a little personal, like you're making it about yourself. Did you know, Rob, were you good friends and buddies? Maybe you should say that in the beginning of your rant, Anna, because I got a problem with you saying he gave to causes, he supported immigrants, yeah, at the peril of black Americans. That's the problem I got. You don't give a shit how I feel. In fact, not a lot of you do. A lot of Democrats don't. Or progressives. Or Pan-Africanists. Let's keep going.
Him and a way to attack Rob Reiner because he exercised his American right to speak up with what he disagreed with is shameful, is disgraceful, and out of all the disgusting things that Donald Trump has done, this is right up there.
Yeah.
Damn, did he give us some money or something we don't know about? I'm sorry, guys. I keep thinking there's money at the bottom of this.
We have a racist in the White House. We have a sexist in the White House, and he is tearing away at the fabric of our democracy.
The single most unqualified human being to ever assume the presidency of the United States. He's mentally unfit.
People always say, you know, he could redo All in the Family. I said, what do you mean? We're living it. We've got Archie in the White House. He always, when he quotes something that isn't him, and they're talking about Donald Trump, he goes, well, Donald Trump, bo, 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 bo. Every character is exactly the same. Well, Donald Trump, bo, 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 every time. And he always does that walk where he does like this, you know? Always.
The problem he has, as far as I can see, is that he's a pathological liar.
People have to understand our democracy is being taken away from us. Make no mistake, we have a year before this country becomes a full-on autocracy.
This is not a political party anymore. I don't know what this is. I believe there's a Christian nationalist movement that's very frightening.
Do we want to continue democracy, or do we want to slip into fascism?
Yeah.
Hey, fam, look. I'm going to say something that I don't think a lot of people are going to say, but I'm just going to say it because I think it needs to be said, and I hope I get some points for it. It'd be great if you could share this part. Maybe clip this out and save it and give it to friends. Rob Reiner hated Trump. And I think Rob Reiner hated Trump so much, he has such a distaste for Trump. He wouldn't want Trump to say anything nice about him. I firmly believe that, Johnson. As I listen to Rob Reiner go in on Trump on several clips at several different times, it's kind of obvious he would never expect Trump to be nice to him. I mean, you don't be saying this shit Rob Reiner was saying and then expect if something bad happened to him, Trump would be there defending him. You know what I think it is? Democrats are used to being so fucking phony that when someone's not phony, they call that slanderous. Yeah. Trump's a liar at times, as always. We know this. He lies about stuff. But as Dave Chappelle put it, he's the most honest liar we know. Now you get what that means. He honestly didn't like Rob Reiner. And he chooses not to lie about the fact he doesn't like him. And I don't think Rob Reiner would want him to start liking him. That would defeat his work of the last 10 years. And he put in a lot of work shitting on Donald Trump. I think he probably would prefer Donald Trump to continue to play his role and Rob Reiner's legacy to continue to be his role.
Your statement on Truth Social after the murder of Rob Reiner. Do you stand by that post?
Well, I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned. He said he knew it was false. In fact, it's the exact opposite, that I was a friend of Russia, controlled by Russia. You know, it was the Russia hoax. He was one of the people behind it. I think he hurt himself in career-wise. He became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country, yeah.
Yeah, this is the truest showing of just how bad Democrats are doing, because there is no reason to be so upset about this. Trump didn't do it to him. His son did. At least that's what the cops think. We'll see what they're able to prove in court. But the way that the Democrats are acting as if they think Trump had a hand in it, and there's no evidence to that. I mean, if you got evidence to it, please produce it, The View. It just looks like Trump didn't like him and he didn't like Trump, and that's it. I don't know. I guess we're going to see family members of Reiner come out now and just use this as an opportunity to to slam Trump. And yeah, maybe you think someone should be nice to you in death, but I mean, guys, we just saw this play out. There were a lot of people not being very nice. I mean, it just happened, and you can guarantee there'll be a lot more happenings. It's bad enough what happened to the guy. Why is the conversation got to now turn to Trump? And they're turning it to Trump. They're making it about Trump when it should be about the killer. But the liberals and the progressives and I don't know, it's not everybody, right? But the people that are making this about Trump saying bad things, they're just taking the spotlight off. They're just taking an opportunity. And I think that's why Trump does it, to be honest. I mean, what other real reason can it be? He has to know if he says something negative, all of a sudden he's got a news cycle. Because the Democrats can't resist, even when it's their guy. Like, they should be focused on tributes. They should be focused on how great a guy he was. It's like totally ignoring Trump's post on his own platform. But they can't do it. They think they can peel off a couple of people from his support base by focusing on a guy that basically called him Mussolini. And I don't think that's going to happen. I guess they don't lose people either. I mean, if you believe the Democrats are right to shift the conversation to how Trump is evil, then I guess you're gonna be a Democrat forever. Anyway, the price of eggs is still high. The rent is still too damn high. And that being said, rest in peace, Rob Reiner. I still don't like your politics. And freedom of speech allows me to say that.
Catch Tim Black live on the most dangerous show in America, Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. Don't miss out on the real. Stay dangerous.